The transfer window is a domino market right now. Barcelona situation now could potentially affect Arsenal situation, which also could affect the Athletic Bilbao situation. And of course, if you haven't already guessed, I am referring to Nico Williams. There is a contract offer on the table from Barcelona, but Arsenal are prepared to offer 9 million euros a week wages. The Benjamin Sesko and Viktor Gyökeres situation keeps changing on a weekly basis. Gyokeres' preferred destination is Arsenal, but according to sources connected with Arsenal Football Club, a lot of the hierarchy prefer a move to Benjamin Sesko. If neither of those deals come off, you've got Ollie Watkins in the background, who potentially could be available for a cut price, who's a Premier League proven goal scorer and is homegrown. You've also got the situation with regards to Rodrigo having a meeting at some point throughout the Club World Cup with Xabi Alonso. If that meeting doesn't go to plan, he potentially could be leaving Real Madrid, which then starts another transfer saga. It's insane right now. Make sure you check out the video on Liverpool yesterday, talking about how Milos Kerkez can completely transform Liverpool going forward. If you're new to the channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button. The road to 60k is well and truly on. If you haven't already, please go down and let me know your thoughts. With 408 subscribers to be precise, away from 57k. If you haven't already, please go and hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the video and let me know your thoughts. I will be back here later tonight for a match reaction for Chelsea's game against Los Angeles Football Club. And the Club World Cup yesterday did not disappoint. PSG absolutely battered Atletico Madrid. And that's what we as Spurs fans have got to look forward to, because we are playing them in the Super Cup. Wish me luck. Now, the Nico Williams saga is one that's very, very interesting. Now, this is coming out from Sports. AFC staff have said Nico Williams is aware that Luis Diaz is Barcelona's priority target and is willing to adapt sportingly, financially, and personally to move to the club. Now, Rafinha and Lamine Yamal doing the utmost on social media, posting Instagram stories, trying to persuade the player, and if Arsenal have a front line, if Barcelona have a front line of Rafinha, Williams, and Yamal, I mean, they can all rotate differently. That's going to be ridiculous. Arsenal, meanwhile, are bidding hard for the player and offering a 9 million euro net salary, which neither Barcelona or Atletico Bilbao can match. Williams has asked for time to exhaust all of his options of joining Barcelona before considering other clubs. Well, we know Atletico Bilbao, Athletic Club, have also got a contract offer on the table for Nico Williams. If I'm being brutally honest and openly about this, I do think at this moment in time, he's probably going to join Barcelona. But it's very, very, very interesting because that report comes out to say Bilbao can't afford, to pay the wages, but he's currently on 10 million. So I don't know how that's broken down. But Nico Williams definitely is one to watch for the Arsenal situation. I think there is probably more chance them getting Rodrigo. Of course, they were in the race for Bryan Mbeumo. They've looked at Semenyo. This left winger and striker situation, and as I've remained consistent, this will drag on. Different reports coming out each day from Romano speaking about how Gyokeres' priority is to join Arsenal. You've got David Ornstein back in January saying that Bryan Mbeumo will definitely be on Arsenal's radar. You've then got Spanish outlets coming out to say that Rodrigo, Arteta's in love with him. He wants to have him at the football club. He loves the way he plays. He loves his, he loves the way that he can manipulate the ball in tight spaces. Rodrigo's a big game player. And then you've also got the other position on the pitch, which is an absolute minefield at the moment for Arsenal, is that striker situation. Nico Williams does have a release clause of around 55 million euros, which is an absolute steal in this market. If Arsenal have the ambition and want to go and get Nico Williams, you are competing with Barcelona. You're talking about a guy from the Basque region of Spain, played for Bilbao for a long, long time, come through their academy, scored in the Euros, helped them win a Copa del Rey a couple of years ago, proven he's a big game player. If Arsenal get him in their ranks, I've remained so consistent in my thoughts, and they're not going to change anytime soon. Arsenal have to make a statement signing, and they need to make it soon because time is ticking. The transfer window might be closed now due to the Club World Cup, but Florian Wirtz's medicals on Friday. He will be a Liverpool player. We've already got Here We Go. Gyökeres will probably be announced in a couple of days. I think he's going to be an unbelievable signing for Liverpool. Then you've got Man City with Turkey, with Reinders, with this new young Norwegian player. You've also got Ain't Nuri. You got Chelsea have brought in Delap. They're looking at bringing in Ekitike later on in the window. Spurs have already got Tell done. We're also looking at bringing in Semenyo as well. And then Man United have brought in Cunha. They're trying to bring in Buemo. Arsenal could be doing a lot of business behind the scenes that we don't know about. And then out of nowhere, bang, a report comes out from Romano. But all the stuff we're seeing right now, it's all close. It's all like conversations between agents and football clubs. We know Sesko has apparently allegedly agreed personal terms of Arsenal, and we know Gyokeres wants to move to Arsenal. But whoever they pick out of these two strikers, they need to make sure they get that left wing position spot on, because for me, that left wing position is just as important as this number 9 role. Arsenal are actively pursuing deals for both Gyokeres and Benjamin Sesko, while they do not plan to sign 2 strikers. Andrea Berta is keeping his options open as he's advanced discussions over both players. Ollie Watkins is also still on the radar. Now, for me, that's an interesting one, because Ollie Watkins was a player they went in for in January. He should be an option, that Arsenal bring in alongside a striker. If you look at Ollie Watkins, the news that Romano come out with back in January is that Arsenal put money on the table. They tried to go in for Sesko as well. Record have said Arsenal think the asking price for Gyokeres is too high, while still focusing on signing Sesko or Ollie Watkins instead. So look, it's very up in the air. I think Watkins should come in alongside someone else. Arsenal went in for Ollie Watkins in January, and according to various sources, the deal didn't really, go down as they wanted it to. Villa weren't prepared to let him go. Arsenal weren't prepared to match the wages. Ollie Watkins is considered a backup option, according to Hand of Ozil, as you can see here. Ollie Watkins is seen as a foul-safe option for Arsenal for both Gyokeres and Sesko. They have to get this right. They absolutely have to get this right. You've got the Gyokeres situation right now is an interesting one, because I believe whoever signs him brings in a player that, will score comfortably, get 20 league goals. Now, this was a day ago. This came out yesterday. Arsenal freeze Gyokeres' pursuit. It goes on to say some big news coming out of Portugal on Arsenal's interest in Viktor Gyökeres, with records saying the Gunners have decided to freeze their pursuit of the Sporting striker. There were reports in Portugal yesterday that Arsenal are preparing a new bid in the excess of 60 million, but records say Arsenal are fed up with Sporting's demands. Sporting are said to want almost 70 for Gyokeres, and Arsenal are set to instead pursue the other targets, with talks ongoing with RB Leipzig. Now, Florian Plettenberg has come out in the last week or so and said that a meeting is taking place, but as of yet, there still is no update on that meeting. It's still his pinned tweet. This was on the 23rd of May, that Arsenal are in concrete talks for Benjamin Sesko. That was on the 23rd of May. As you can see right there, it's done 5.3 million views. So clearly a lot of people are, very interested in what Plettenberg has to say. But as of yet, there still hasn't been any news on it. You've also got, in this time, Liverpool have gone out there and done huge bits of business. Manchester United are now looking at bringing in Hugo Ekitike. It's a domino effect, because if Man United are going for Gyokeres, Arsenal are likely to sign Sesko. If Man United are going for Hugo Ekitike, they've really got a free choice on who they want. If Barcelona sign Williams, that closes that door, which then could open up the door for Rodrigo. If Rodrigo agrees to stay at Real Madrid another year, then Arsenal's other targets are players like Semenyo. Now, you've also got to think Tottenham are looking at Semenyo. Now we've just signed Tell. Does that hinder the chance? Potentially. But there is so much speculation, there's so much news, there's so much transfer stuff. And Arsenal, their pre-season games are next month, so they've still got a fair bit of time. But you'd imagine that the North London club want to get a move on with things ASAP. They play against AC Milan on the 23rd of July, which should be a very competitive game. Then they play Newcastle, and then they play Spurs. They've got a very, very competitive pre-season. Meanwhile, Chelsea have got Los Angeles tonight. Then they play another Club World game against Flamingo, and then they play Esperanza. And then they'll be playing potentially Juventus, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Man City. So it's going to get very, very competitive, that Club World Cup, very, very soon. And Chelsea have already done business. Man City have already done business. But Arsenal at this moment in time, for whatever reason, according to even Football, have come out to say that Gyokeres, European giant, hijacks transfer to Arsenal. He's a Man United story. He says there have been accusations of blackmail as Viktor Gyökeres' future dominates the headlines. Even Football are talking about it. Goes on to say, Juventus have now said to be leading the race to sign Gyokeres. Club president Federico Varandas has publicly accused Gyokeres' agent of blackmail as he denies the presence of a formal agreement. Wow. I mean, that's fucking insane. Wow. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. It's going to be one hell of a transfer window. There's going to be so much speculation. There's going to be so much news. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back live to the Club World Cup. I'm out.